talking about Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway.
Hmm.
Berkshire Hathaway may sell its real estate business. So why would they sell their real estate business? And is this a sign that there's going to be a real estate crash?
I don't want to say crash because I don't want all of real estate and mortgage professionals coming after me. And I know some people are saying it is succession planning for Berkshire in case Warren passes. He's at the later stages of life. But if you have a business that is incredibly profitable, wouldn't it behoove you to turn over a book of business in real estate to the new CEO to keep the price of the stock up incredibly high? I know there's a certain subgroup of investors who doesn't think Warren Buffett is the greatest of all time. For the record, he is. This is concerning. I'm going to come in calm and measured. I'm on my Rashad Bilal with the glasses vibe, calm and measured. But if this asset, and a couple of people, shout to y'all in Nebraska, there's some rumblings, they're getting rid of some of those doors they own as well. So I'm going to monitor the situation.
We got, the Berkshire over the past 4 weeks. I know the market is taking a hit. It's the only thing that's been positive. So he's doing something. They're doing something right over there.
And his net worth has went up during this crash.
Exactly. And he has a stockpile of $334 billion. We're yet to see where that's going. But the real estate part of the portfolio, it sounds like a sneeze. It's $4.4 billion of it. Not a sneeze, but in terms of their asset management, it is a sneeze. But I mean, CNBC wrote a great article about how in the early 80s he bought newspapers because he thought that business was indestructible. We'd always need it. And in the early 2000s, he realized that, what times have changed. And so my investment strategy needs to change. And so there was a comparison between that and his investment strategy. So the reasons why that they potentially may let it go, it's a couple. I mean, and we know these, right? They're saying that the housing market has softened, buyers face higher mortgage rates, elevated prices, and limited number of listings. And then the pending home sales dropped in January to 4.6%, the lowest since January of 2001, which doesn't sound as encouraging.
Well, those numbers aren't very encouraging.
They're not very encouraging.
They are encouraging
for
landlords.
For landlords, I'm talking.
They're very encouraging
for that side of it.
He's a landlord.
But that's what I'm saying.
So they're encouraging.
But for him, he's looking at it like for his side, he's looking at it like if that business isn't growing, if home sales are slowing, right, and we're not having new builds, and we don't have control of interest rates, and there's uncertainty inside of this present economy, is this now a good time to say let's let go a little bit of this portfolio?
You can never question Warren Buffett because he's
I'm just throwing it hypothetically out there.
He's the greatest of all time.
True.
And he might say, okay, I'm gonna make more money in gold than I'm gonna make in housing and real estate for the next 10 years. I don't know. But those numbers that you just described are encouraging
incredibly favorable. Right?
If there's less homes being built, less people are getting mortgages, interest rates are high. Well, what does that mean? That people got to live somewhere. So that means that people are not buying homes at the rate. And they're probably going to continue to buy less and less homes because it's going to become too affordable. It's going to be too unaffordable for them to buy homes. That means that they're going to have to rent. We talked about a renter society to the point some people say almost 80% of the population at some point could be renters, right? So the people that actually own the places that they're renting from, I mean, now you have no option. So I got 5 different people that want to rent my apartment. Who's going to pay the most? Who's the most qualified? Who got the highest credit score? That is beneficial for landlords.
Or what if you don't have a market that can actually afford to live in these places?
Well, I mean, if everybody has to rent, there's going to be some people that can afford it.
Or that price could potentially drive down the prices, right? Because if you don't have occupancy and people can't buy, and you have a large portfolio of homes that nobody is actually going to live in or again purchase,
well, rent
on a large scale, on a macro, yes, on a macro scale, if it's an individual, this is like you're talking about a huge portfolio of potential vacancy.
Rent prices in Manhattan reached all-time highs last month. rent prices across America have gone up, especially in all major cities, Miami, Los Angeles. I mean, the indicating trend is that rent prices are going up. There's no indicating
At what
trend.
point were they correct though?
Oh, they're correct at some point. It's like anything. It's like style. Everything has a correction, but
For sure.
the acceleration of it has been tremendous as far as rent, right? So I don't think the correction.
2020, my God.
Like I just saw that yesterday. Manhattan real estate last month has reached the highest level that has ever reached as far as rent ever.
What's it at? 6,500?
They said 4,500, but that number's a little skewed because
Yes.
it gauges the whole island of Manhattan. So you got all the way uptown, but as far as probably midtown down to downtown, yeah, it'd probably be like 4,500 for one bedroom, by the way. So it'd probably be around 6,000, 6,500 for one bedroom. If you take out Harlem and you take out all the way uptown, it'll probably be around $6,500 for one bedroom. That's a good business to be in.
It's a lot of chopped cheese, yo.
Just sold his apartment. Byron Allen just sold his apartment for $85 million. The largest sale of an apartment this year in New York City. $85 million for an apartment. That's not even the highest listing apartment in the building.
Great point. Buffett normally is a laggard when it comes to investing into a sector.
Yeah.
But he has incredible timing of when to exit a market.
Right.
So the fact, and if he hedged off and broke off some of the business and kept 20% of it, 30%, but to liquidate all of the real estate brokerage made my eyebrows raise a little bit as to why.
The portfolio grossed a net profit of 100 million in 2022. That went down to 13 million in 2023, and they suffered a net loss of 113 million in 2024.
Gotta go. That's why
it's also important to realize the real estate that he owns too. You know, he's one of the largest owners of trailer parks.
For sure.
So, and he has a lot of real estate in Midwest. So,
yes, that's
like all things. It's a lot. The number one rule in real estate is location. So, I think that his market, particularly the trailer park, like the lower income type situation like that might be hurting because it's not in prime locations. Those people are struggling even more than coastal communities. But most people live in coastal communities.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. What you were saying, like you're talking about the major cities, but the large ones, and you kind of nailed it. The large majority of the portfolio doesn't exist inside of New York City or Miami or in LA.
Mistake.
Yeah, it's Omaha.
It's like him missing out on Apple and early on, and Microsoft early on, given his relationship with Gates. So I agree. Client selection, and city selection matters a hell of a lot.